I've worked at my local library for almost 3 years now. It's nothing glamorous. Small town, dusty stacks, and the faint smell of mildew no matter how much Febreze you spray. I work the closing shift most nights, which usually means I spend hours alone with nothing but bookshelves and my headphones. But last week, I found something I can't explain. I was doing my usual end-of-shift routine, locking up, making sure nobody was hiding in the bathroom stalls, and checking the basement archives. While down in the basement, I noticed something strange. One of the old metal shelves was slightly crooked, leaning out at an angle. At first, I thought it was just warped from age, but when I pushed on it, the whole thing shifted backward. Behind it was a narrow, dark passageway. I stood there for a while, trying to convince myself not to go in. I even told myself it was probably just an old utility closet, but my curiosity got the better of me. The passage led to a small windowless room. The walls were lined with small wooden bookshelves. They were packed with books I'd never seen before, leather-bound, old with no titles on the spines. A single bulb hanging from the ceiling barely lit the space, but I could see enough to know these books were much older than anything they have upstairs. I pulled one off the shelf at random. It was heavy, and the cover was unmarked except for a single embossed symbol that looked like an eye. The pages were filled with dense handwriting, diagrams, and strange illustrations. The title on the first page read, "Practical Applications of the Unseen." I flipped through trying to make sense of it. Most of it was gibberish, equations that didn't add up, sentences written in languages I couldn't identify, but there were instructions too, written in English. One section caught my attention: to glimpse beyond the veil. The instructions were simple: light a candle, place a mirror at a 45-degree angle, and recite the words printed below. It sounded ridiculous, like some creepypasta ritual from the early 2000s, but I was alone in a library, so why not? I brought the book upstairs, grabbed a hand mirror from the lost and found box, and lit one of the emergency candles we kept at the front desk. I set it all up on a reading table and began to read the words aloud. At first, nothing happened. I felt stupid, sitting there chanting in a dead silent library. But then the room got colder. The candle's flame flickered violently, even though there was no draft. I looked into the mirror and froze. Behind my reflection, something moved. It wasn't clear at first, just a dark shape shifting in the background. I turned around, but there was nothing behind me. When I looked back into the mirror, the figure was closer, tall, with long, twisted limbs that bent in ways they shouldn't. Its face was indistinct, like static on an old TV. But I could feel it watching me. I dropped the mirror, it shattered on the floor, and the thing was gone. The candle's flame steadied, and the room warmed up. I tried to convince myself it was a trick of the light, my imagination running wild, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been there. Now every night at the library, I feel like I'm being watched. The shadows between the shelves seem darker, heavier. Sometimes when I'm closing up, I hear faint whispers coming from the basement. The worst part? A few days ago, I found another book from that hidden room. Not in the basement, but on a return cart upstairs. I'm the only one who knows about that room, and I sure as hell didn't bring it up. I went back to the hidden room the next night. I told myself it was to put the book back, but I couldn't resist opening another one. This one was thinner, its cover marked with a spiral. Inside were instructions for something called the listening ritual. I know it sounds stupid, but by performing this ritual, I can banish whatever I summon with the last one. What do you guys think I should do?